Hey everybody, John from Chicago. Welcome back to another full self-driving video. I am in a Hardware 3 car and I'm going to show you how it can park in parking lots. Is it as good as a brand new Hardware 4 car, or is it okay enough to use for everyday purposes? I'm going to cover all of that in this video. This is a short drive to the store and back. Let's see how full self-driving does. I'm going to engage it right now. It just turned on. Now, as you can see, it is not moving. So this is still an issue. Now, people have reported over time that it's gotten better, and these releases, especially the 2026.8 release, have really made significant improvements, but it really hasn't. And the reason why I say that is because full self-driving 12.6.4 on Hardware 3 has been the same ever since February 2025. My car is not moving at all. Now, the maps data has changed, so that could have an impact on the full self-driving performance. Now look, a truck is passing by. Typically when it has a reference, see, as soon as that truck passed, now the car knows, okay, I can go, this is a drivable space. But until another vehicle passes, the same as it's been since February 2025, there really aren't any significant changes, which is a big reason why I have not been posting a lot of videos on this software. Another reason is because we just went through a winter here in Chicago, and I cannot stand taking my car out on salty roads anymore. Call me old school, but I love my car so much. I just did 2 ceramic coats on it back in February, and I want to make this car last for my entire life. In fact, I'm fully confident that this car will outlive me. And the reason why is because this is it's a machine. The drivetrain components are designed to last and tested to last 1 million miles. My car has 100,000, a little bit over 100,000 miles on it. And I love this car so much, and I'm truly confident that it will last a very long time, outliving me. My car just did a couple things. It changed lanes. I don't know why it got in the center lane and then came back over to the right, because coming up here, we need to turn right to get to the grocery store. And the big challenge here is what's going to happen to park itself. Is it going to find a parking space? If it were slanted parking spaces, it would have no chance, and that's still a fact with Hardware 3. Just getting back to the fact that a lot of people feel that this software has improved over time, the code is identical. If Tesla made any changes to full self-driving, they would be required to put a point release. It could be 12.6.4.1 or whatever, some other minor thing. They would have to notate it, but they have not touched the code at all. So if people are noticing changes, and I'm not going to discount and say, no, you're wrong, whatever you're seeing is not happening. No, I believe you. I believe you're seeing some things that are different, that are newer behaviors. But let me ask you this: is it happening every single time? If the answer to that is no, then it's probably not a change. Also, you have to keep in mind that the maps data has been changing, and because of that, it does have a small impact on full self-driving. And that it could be what you're seeing. But in parking lots, this is one thing I noticed yesterday, and I'll run the clip here, is it tried to go in reverse to get into a parking space and then changed its mind, aborted the reverse maneuver, and then started going forward. That was new to me.
Here it's coming down the aisle. It finds an open space on the left. It then attempts to go in reverse, and for the first time that I've ever witnessed, it gives up, goes forward, and then parks on the left.
So that I can't explain. I really cannot explain. And I only experienced it once, so I can't say that it's repeatable. But that I had never seen before. So let's see what happens here right now. We're coming into the parking lot, and Let's see where it decides to park. Sometimes it just decides to take you right to the front door. The right turn signal's on, and it's trying to back itself into the handicapped space. Now let's see if it aborts itself, because obviously it cannot go in reverse. It's trying really hard to go in reverse, as you can see on the screen, and I'll zoom in. As long as nobody's behind me, I'm okay to experiment here a little bit. You see there, it's really struggling. It's trying its best to go backwards, but it's not able to do it. So it's just going to hang out here. This is my normal experience. It just kind of sits here. Now we do have someone coming, so I'm gonna have to take over. So this person now is gonna go around, and they're kind of like, what is going on? I'm gonna turn it on again here, and presumably it's going to try to get to the front door once again. Here we go, okay, coming around, and okay, now it's going front forward. So the fact that it did abort that parking maneuver is just a coincidence. I'm going to say that straight away. So I'm gonna go in reverse here and test this one last time. Now, of course, you can use the Autopark. In the Autopark, you select a spot here, and you just say park, and it will go and do the park maneuver, and it works great. It'll do parking in reverse, it will do parallel parking, it'll do all sorts of different parking maneuvers. So I'm just going to start the full self-driving here again. There it is. Let's see what it does here for a third time. Okay, and it's parking in a parking space that is a handicapped space, and is not even evenly parking in the spot. And another thing with Hardware 3 is it does not put itself in park once it arrives. So this is obviously a $250 fine, and not something I want to put myself in at the moment. So I'm gonna have to manually park here. Actually, let's do the automatic park, and then we'll go in and shop, and then take it back to the suburbs here. All that stuff I just showed you was me just experimenting, just to demonstrate to you how full self-driving operates on Hardware 3, the current state in March 2026. But really what happens is when you come into a parking lot, you're going to be coasting in with full self-driving, and then what you do is you abort, you just push up on the right drive stalk, it slows down, and now look at all these spaces show up. You select a spot, you hit start, and the car is going to go and park itself. And there we go. So I'm going to run in, come back out, and we're going to see if it takes off from this parking space to go back to the suburbs area. Okay, we're back and ready to go. We do have a car right next to us. All I need to do is push down to start driving. There's a car for reference. Sometimes it takes off, sometimes it doesn't. Looks like it's not going to leave the space here today right now. However, let's wait, because this woman just got into her car. Oh, here we go. It's always 50-50. Never know what's going to happen. I guess that gives it a little bit of adventure with Hardware 3. Now, if you're in the market for a used Tesla, let's say you're panicking because, first of all, let's say you have case number one, you already have full self-driving, and you know transfers end March 31st. You've got a week left. What should you do? Should you transfer it? You know, you're kind of panicking. Well, in that case, it may be worth it for these extra features, especially if you really want to be able to leave parking lots gracefully, and you really want to be able to have that extra flourish going in reverse, doing 3-point turns, getting out of detours, you know, seeing and responding to more things around you, like hand gestures. I'm confident it's way better at that. Also, ambulances, emergency vehicles. Obviously, there are a lot of advantages to doing a transfer, but let's say that you don't have full self-driving. Maybe you've tried it once, but you really want to go all in. You want to own it, but you're just like, man, I can't put up with that subscription. Well, don't forget, you can buy a used Tesla with full self-driving and have all of this for yourself. The only challenge is a good portion of them out there, I'd say 95% of them, are Hardware 3. So the question becomes, is Hardware 3 worth it? And in my humble opinion, it is definitely worth it. However, there is a documented, well, it's undocumented, officially undocumented, but well documented by the community, a bug, an issue with Hardware 3. Some cars have it, some cars don't. I can't explain why. Even the cars that have this issue, the cameras are clean in the front. There's no issues with the cameras. The visibility is nice, but it just doesn't drive the same as other cars. Like in my case, it drives so well and I use it all the time. I don't have any issues, but other people report having all sorts of problems. And this is likely why, in my opinion, why it hasn't been released in Australia and other countries, why Hardware 3, and now they're talking about releasing it, I think, in the Netherlands coming up. Well, guess what? They're not going to release it on Hardware 3. And I think the big reason is because there's an issue. And I've speculated before that through the updates, through the software updates, because not everybody goes from one update to the next seamlessly. Like sometimes they'll skip over certain people, like early access testers like myself. I went through all the tiny minor iterations, and because of that, my software is super polished, it's really nice. But these other cars have these issues, and I think it has something to do with skipping over the versions or not being in the early access group. I don't know. Some people that weren't in the early access group, their software works great, but it seems to be hit or miss. I can't explain it. If your driveway is not on a main road like mine is, and you're approaching your driveway on the left, it will go into the driveway. And some people have commented that this changed, this is a new feature, it got added, it's an improvement. It's not. This is the same software as it was in February 2025, guys. I'll say that again. Anyway, hopefully this sheds some light on Hardware 3 functionality. I'm probably the only person left filming and documenting Hardware 3. And there's a reason why I haven't been posting much. First of all, I've been very busy. Second of all, my job has me driving another car. I really hate to admit that. Thirdly, winter. I prefer not to drive my Tesla in winter conditions, especially when there's a lot of salt on the roads. And then lastly, I have Hardware 3. Let's face it, not that many people want to watch Hardware 3 videos. And I'll do my best, as always, to produce the highest quality content for all of you on YouTube and all of the other socials. I'm on TikTok, by the way, Instagram, I'm on Facebook, X, all of the socials. Make sure you check me out, TechGeek Tesla. And also there's a bunch of bonuses. I've got affiliate links and different discount codes down in the description. Check those out so you can save some money on Tesla accessories. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.